Now, moving on to our coverage, and even after the announcement of the ACK Archbishop-elect, one person stands out in her role as referee. Canon Rosemary Mbogo, the ACK provincial secretary, talks about her ambition to be ordained as the first female bishop in the history of the Kenyan chapter of the Anglican Church. Well, KTN's Lilian Odera spent time with Canon Mbogo.
Now 55 and the custodian of the strategic framework of the Anglican Church in Kenya. Her title is Provincial Secretary. Meet Reverend Canon Rosemary Mbogo, the highest ranked female in the hierarchy of the Kenyan province of the Anglican Church. She fondly reflects on her 40+ years journey of faith that has brought her this far.
I did not imagine that I would be, a full-time priest. So at even some point I asked them, would you allow me just to be ordained, and I remain a lay minister? It didn't make sense, but they said we leave that to God because He understands how He does placements for people.
Hers has been quite a journey, beating odds to climb to the top in a society that is still at crosshairs on gender parity. More so, the church, where religious doctrines relating to gender have mainly favored and elevated the males, at least when it comes to leadership.
But the discussions are underway. Of course, I offered myself as a bishop, but the debate was not concluded. And that is, for me, an example where I need to tell even folk that also, when debates are not concluded, do not act like it has come to the end of the world. Hold on to the model.
And so the former teacher, wife, and mother of 4 finds herself constantly trying to prove that what a man can do, a woman can do even better.
The support mechanisms that are needful for any person really, because you have heard it, it's always stated, behind every successful man is a woman. The reverse is true. For me, I actually don't say it should not even be behind. My argument is beside. Because it's not behind. If it's behind, then when do you ever catch up in steps to actually be the support that is required?
Mbogo is one of the many women who have been ordained to serve in different priestly orderlies within the Anglican Church, either as reverends or deacons across the 33 dioceses in Kenya. The Anglican Church has been in existence in Kenya for 132 years, originally as a diocese of Eastern Equatorial Africa, comprising Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, with James Hannington as the first bishop in 1884. But it was not until 96 years later, that was in 1980, that the church agreed in principle that women could be ordained and that each diocese would be autonomous in taking up the issue. In 1983, Henry Okulu, bishop of the Diocese of Maseno South, ordained Lucia Okuthe as the first female priest.
Yeah, so this one will talk about the portrait of you.
It is now upon the generation of the Mbogos to not only realize the vision of equality for women in positions of leadership, but also pass on the baton to the next generation.
You are holding an office, be prepared for the tasks that run with that office. But do it not forgetting that model of a woman is needed by the society. For example, if you pick on negative traits like shouting and trying to act like a macho man when you're a woman, the picture painted is very negative.
Kenya has made bold steps in empowering women in church compared to its African neighbors. Southern Africa has made the most significant gains. The first African woman to become a bishop in the Anglican Church was Elina Ntombi wa Mukoya, who was elected Bishop of the Diocese of Swaziland in July 2012. Here in Kenya, Canon Mbogo has proved that women and men can compete purely on merit. Hence, her election twice into the position of chairperson of the National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK.
It wasn't affirmative action. It was election. And when we talk about NCCK, we bring together over several churches, and they all have male leadership, but they cast their vote for me.
A woman of many fasts, Canon Mbogo dispels the dogmatic place of women in cultural stereotypes and epitomizes the spirit of resilience required to propel the woman of the 21st century into greater heights.
I love curry cream. Oh, you love it. I'm sure you'll tell your friends where to come for more.
Thank you. Lilian, Odera, KTN News.